Hey everyone, and welcome. Think about your money not as a chore, but as this grand adventure. You've got maps to read, tools you need to master, and all sorts of tricky terrain to navigate. Well, in this explainer, we're going to gear you up with the 10 most important concepts to turn you into a really confident financial explorer. All right, so before you even think about charting a course to some far off treasure, you've got to know your exact starting position, right? So, the very first and maybe the most important question on this whole journey is, where are you right now? And that leads us right into our first section. We are going to pinpoint your exact location on the financial map. Seriously, this is the foundation. Every single decision you make from here on out is built on this. Now, the technical term for this starting point is your net worth. And for a second, I want you to forget about how much you make a month or what you spend. Your net worth is the one single number that gives you a true, honest snapshot of your financial health. And the formula? It's actually super simple. It's just everything you own minus everything you owe. And the calculation really is that easy. On one side of the ledger, you've got your assets. That's stuff like your savings, any investments, maybe the value of your car. And on the other side, you've got your liabilities. That's what you owe, like a car loan or that pesky credit card debt. You just subtract the liabilities from your assets, and there you have it. That's your net worth. All right, so once you know where you stand, the very next step is to prep for the road ahead. And any good adventurer knows you absolutely need a shield to protect you from all the unexpected stuff life throws at you. So let's talk about building that financial shield. The first two layers of this shield are a couple types of insurance. First, you've got life insurance. That's for your family. It's there to support them if the main breadwinner isn't around anymore. Then you've got health insurance. That's for you. It protects your hard-earned savings from getting totally wiped out by unexpected medical bills. Insurance is absolutely crucial, but it doesn't cover everything, does it? What about those other things that keep you up at night, like a sudden job loss, or your car breaking down, or an emergency trip? What's supposed to protect you from those things? Well, the answer is your emergency fund. This is the absolute core of your financial shield. It's a dedicated pile of cash, kept separate and ready to go, just to handle life's curveballs without forcing you into debt or completely wrecking your long-term plans. So, the big question is, how big should this fund be? Well, the rule of thumb here is both really simple and incredibly powerful. All you do is calculate your essential monthly expenses, we're talking rent, food, bills, the must-haves, and multiply that number by 6. That's it. That's your target. A 6-month safety net ready for just about anything. Okay, with our defenses up, we can now switch our thinking from protection to growth. But to grow your money in a smart way, you've got to understand the fundamental forces of the financial world. It's kind of like understanding gravity in physics before you try to build something. The very first role we need to talk about is liquidity. And this concept is so important, especially for that emergency fund we just talked about. All it means is how fast can you get your hands on your money when you really need it, without losing a bunch of its value. High liquidity just means quick, easy access to your cash. So where should you actually keep this emergency money? Well, cash is king when it comes to liquidity, of course, but you also want it to be safe and easy to get to, which is exactly why things like a simple savings account, fixed deposits, and certain liquid mutual funds are pretty much perfect for this job. Now let's talk about this powerful, invisible force that affects every single one of us, inflation. Just look at India's history here. You can see it's always there. Sometimes it's crazy high, sometimes it's low, but it's always present, quietly eating away at what your money can actually buy. So what is inflation really? Well, it's the reason a basket of fruit that cost you 100 rupees a few years back might cost you 120 today. And here's the crucial point for any investor. Listen up. To get a real return, your investments must grow faster than the rate of inflation. If they don't, you're actually losing purchasing power. You're going backwards. So that leads to a really important question. With investment returns going up one year and down the next, how can you get a clear, simple picture of how you're really doing? How do you know if you're actually winning that race against inflation? The answer is a pretty powerful acronym, CAGR. It stands for Compound Annual Growth Rate. Think of it like this. Instead of staring at a messy list of ups and downs every single year, CAGR just smooths it all out. It gives you one single average growth rate, as if your investment grew nice and steady. It's basically the ultimate scorecard for comparing your investments and seeing if you're truly beating inflation.
Okay, you know your starting point, you've built up your shield, and you understand the rules of the game. Now it's time to actually step into the arena and put your money to work. Now, in the market, you're going to hear about two powerful animals all the time. First is the bull, which charges upwards with its horns. That's a rising, optimistic market. And then you've got the bear, which swipes downwards with its claws. That means a falling market. And technically, it's a drop of 20% or more from a recent high. A lot of people are saying we're in a huge bull run right now. And yeah, that's exciting. But every adventurer has to ask themselves a really tough question. When that bear market finally shows up, and it always does, are you going to panic? Or are you going to be able to stomach the ride and hold your ground?
And your answer to that question, that gut feeling, that defines your risk tolerance. And this is so personal. It's really about how well you can sleep at night when you look at your portfolio and see it's down. Figuring out if you're naturally aggressive, moderate, or conservative is the key to picking the right investments for you, not for someone else. So, how do you actually combine your personal risk tolerance with your financial goals? Well, that brings us to our final section, crafting your master plan. This is where we pull everything we've learned together to build a smart, tough strategy for your whole financial journey. And we're going to start with probably one of the oldest and wisest pieces of financial advice anyone's ever given. This simple little saying is the foundation of a really sophisticated and powerful investment strategy. The modern-day investment version of that proverb is called asset allocation. And as you can see in this example, instead of dumping all your money in one place, you spread it out across different types of investments. Things like stocks, bonds, maybe some mutual funds. This is called diversification, and it's so important because different parts of the economy do well at different times. So when stocks are down, maybe your bonds are up. It's all about managing that risk while still trying to capture growth. And there we have it. We've covered the map, the shield, the rules of the road, and the master plan. The entire adventurer's kit is now yours. So the only question left is the one that really matters. What's your first move going to be?